Hello, good evening. Welcome to Sheffield Live. You are watching African Voices with me, Baillor Jalloh, and my colleague joining us from home, Ciel Chihana. Hi, Ciel.
Good evening, Baillor. Hi.
Hi, good evening. Right, on today's show, we are discussing Guinea-Conakry about the upcoming general election in Guinea on Saturday, the 18th of October. But before we start, I would like to introduce our guest tonight. First of all, our first guest is Lancei Kourouma, who is the Communication Secretary for the RPG AC and Ciel here in the UK, which is the ruling party in Guinea led by incumbent President Alpha Condé. Hi, Lancei.
Hi, Mr. Baillor.
And we also have Mr. Abdul Karim Diallo, who is the leader of the UFDG party here in the UK, the main opposition party in Guinea, led by Mr. Ciel Diallo. Hi, Mr. Karim.
Hi, Mr. Baillor. Thank you for inviting us. Thank you.
Welcome, both of you, on the show. Just a bit of background about Guinea for the interest of our viewers. Guinea, it is a country located in the west coast of Africa. It is a former French colony, and it is also one of the first countries in sub-Saharan Africa to regain independence in the late 50s, specifically in 1958. And also its first leader, Ahmed Sékou Touré, who was also the pioneers of Pan-Africanism in Africa. That put aside, it is also one of the richest countries in the world in terms of natural resources such as diamonds, gold, and bauxite. Having said that, it is also one of the poorest countries in the world, where most of the population lives under $1 a day. If I may start with you, Mr. Kouroma, you are representing the RPG party, which is the ruling party. You have 2 minutes. Give us a reason why the Guineans should vote for your party in the upcoming general election.
Okay, Mr. Kouroma Lancei, the Communication Secretary of RPG, the ruling party. I believe my leader, or the actual president of Guinea, should be given another chance, because Guinea was really, we had a long story from independencies to now, because Guinea we've been through a lot of difficulty. Then because we had human resources people from a country which didn't do well. Then the best thing with Guinea is there is a chance to develop this country. That's why my leader, President Alpha Condé, should be given a chance, because he is putting the basis of development, which he need to finish. By that, we need to believe on him, because I believe my party is believing on this. Because of Alpha Condé, things start changing. Electricity problem, we try and find solution. We are on it because we got Scaletta moving. We got new things coming by the economic things, like the economic are improving. Its system are improving, and there is a lot of things, but I think we need time to improve, because today people who screaming or people who talking been on this system. Alpha Condé never been for 4 years. He was fighting, battling for this power, because he never had a bad hand on it. That's why he should be given a chance again to be developing again this country, because it's not easy, because the system in Guinea, people in Guinea are very difficult to manage. And President Alpha Condé is the solution for that, because economically, in terms of international relations, we improve a lot. Guinea is back. That's the main point. Guinea is back. But I'm not going to tell you people everything is okay 100%.
Thank you, Mr. Lancei there. Your 2 minutes is up. but thank you very much. You will have more opportunity later in the program. Mr. Karim, yourself, you are representing the UFDG party, which is the main opposition party in Guinea. Give us a reason why the Guinean people should vote for you.
Yeah, thank you again, Mr. Baillor, for inviting me in the show. I would like to greet all your viewers who are watching you all over the world. So why should we vote for Ciel Jalloh, the opposition leader, at this general election that coming on the 18th of October? First of all, I would like to say that Guinea need a proper change. The President Alpha Condé has been achieving his 2 mandates in 2020, according to the constitution that he swore on. So Alpha Condé shouldn't be any candidate, shouldn't be a candidate at this election. So it is a violation of the constitution of Guinea, because the constitution really stated that after 2 mandates, Alpha Condé should resign and organize a proper election, organize a fair and transparency election. So any other candidate who will be trusted by the population should lead the country for the next coming 10 years. So why Ciel Jalloh? Ciel Jalloh today is the opposition leader of Guinea. He has been leading the opposition since 2010 when Alpha Condé took the power. He has the biggest political party. The party is represented the whole country and outside the country, Guinea. So this man has got a lot of experiences, because for being ministers in different departments, for being the prime minister in the past in Guinea, he has done a lot.
Mr. Jalloh, thank you very much for your time there. Your 2 minutes is off as well, but you will have more time later as the show continues. Lancei Kourouma, if I may bring you back again with what Mr. Diallo just started with, highlighting that President Alpha Condé has served a 2-term mandate, which is for 10 years now. And according to the Guinea's constitution, he should be the man who should be standing for a 3rd term. But having said that, recently there has been a constitutional change in the country, or a referendum as it was called, for Mr. Condé to stand again. Your response to that?
Okay, actually, but I can call him because we are in competition. Abdul Karim said, when we talk about constitution, I'm going to ask Abdul Karim, we're going to go on so many bases. This constitution from 2010 been implemented by military, by a coup. You know, the deal was anybody came like
Mr. Kouroma, I don't know, your network is very bad. I don't know if it is only me, but it seems like we are struggling to hear you properly. Yeah, Mr. Kouroma, continue.
Okay, like I said, you know, any democratic country, the constitution should be voted by people, by the population. And this constitution in Guinea been voted by a CNT, which is like a, you know, social and thing, which is not normal, because it was a military coup. That's why, you know, they all agree on one thing. If anyone was elected to be changing the constitution, that's what we did on the good basis. We did change the constitution to improve so many rules, so many things to help Guinea to improve. Then I don't know why opposition, they're complaining about this constitution thing, because the president tried to improve a lot of things on this constitution, which is an independent thing.
In fairness, Mr. Kouroma, sorry to interrupt you there, but in fairness to the opposition, or to whosoever doesn't like the changing of the constitution, in many developed countries or many Western countries, we've seen democracy is about first 1 or 2 terms. I'm not saying there are no other countries that has got more than that. What do you think Mr. Condé can do now that he has not done in 10 years?
A lot, Mr. Condé can. We did a lot. You know, people maybe people, they don't want to see, you know, opposition is too harsh in us. Because in Guinea, there are a lot of improvement. We're not magician to do everything, you know, like, but we put the basis of development. If we take economically, we are around 5.8% by improving in the croissant side. The PNB and the GDP in Guinea improve. That's what they should give us, time to improve. Like, look at the hydroelectric barrage we are building up.
Okay, let's bring back Abdul Karim. Your response to that. Mr. Kourouma is saying Guinea needs more time, or President Alpha Condé needs more time in order to improve the country. He's saying there has been a lot of economic changes in the country, but the opposition does not want to understand that.
Oh, yes, Mr. Baillor, thank you for coming back to me. I would like to say that Alpha Condé is in 83 years now, so he's getting very old, so physically and mentally, he's not apt to be leading the Guinea anymore. So that's one thing. The other thing, coming back to the constitution, I do agree with Lancei, the constitution can be revised. You know, if there are so many articles in the constitution, whereas things need to be updated following the evolution of the country, I do agree with that. But it says clearly in the constitution, after 2010, any leader that will be president should put the constitution into referendum. But why Alpha Condé did wait until his, after 10 years, only in 2020, to put the constitution into referendum. That's one thing. The other thing is, in the constitution, it was clearly stated that according to the mandate, that should then be removed from the constitution. But any other article could be revised, right? So at this point, Alpha Condé, knowing that he cannot revise any article from the constitution, he just forced to put the constitution into referendum. So he will stay in the power again, because the only reason that he did call for a referendum according to the constitution is just so he can stay for a third term. So it's not like he wanted to change anything in the constitution that doesn't match with the progress of the country. That's one thing. The other thing, like, if Alpha Condé is saying he has done a lot, he need to continue. Guinea has got like 13 million of the population, right? Alpha Condé is not the only man that can do the job. We agree he had done a little bit what he could do, but he should at this time leave, and then another man, another leadership should come to continue the work. That's a continuity that Guineans are all looking for right now.
Okay, I'll just bring my colleague in, Ciel Chihana. Ciel, any comment on what you've had so far, or any question?
Yeah, absolutely interesting to get the varied perspectives from both of you. I have a question for the opposition. What do you think you could do differently, probably, to clinch the election this time? We've seen that in most cases, the incumbent usually takes the next election. So you've been in opposition for quite a long time. What makes this one different?
Yes, thank you for this question. Actually, we've been in the opposition since the last 10 years, because since 2010, Ciel, our leader, is leading the opposition. In 2010, everyone knows that what happened in Guinea wasn't a proper election after the second round, right? The first round, Ciel was the first one between 24 candidates. He came with 44%, right? Alpha Condé comes second with 18%. But we all know what happened at that time in Guinea with the ruling military who were there, what they done just to hijack everything and to give the power to Alpha Condé. Anyway, we're not going back to that. So at this time, what we're realizing, the whole country, the whole Guinean population are supporting the candidate of UFDG, who is the leader, Ciel Jalloh. And at this time, we really gonna try our best to invest in the election, to go to the election and to win the vote and to secure our vote. So that's the plan that we put in place this time. So
and how would you in that sense then compare? How would you use the last parliamentary elections to determine what this election is going to look like for you now that it's not parliamentary, it's the big one?
Actually, the last parliamentary election that was done on the 22nd of March, which was combined with the referendum, UFDG did not take part of that, and so many political opposition parties did not take part of that, because that election wasn't inclusive. That election was a violation of the constitution, so we did not take part of that. So all what was done there is like a coup d'etat, a constitutional coup d'etat. That's how we call it. Alpha Condé did just manage with his political party to elect members of a parliament. So right now we're not recognizing the parliament which is there. We're not recognizing the new constitution which is there. We're still working on, we're still obeying, we're still following the rule of the constitution that was accepted in 2010, which constitution Alpha Condé did sworn on it like twice, in 2010 and in 2015 when he was elected both for elections. So at this time, we're saying that we're going to do this election following the rule of the constitution of 2010, and we trying to get the whole population which has the trust, who trusted today the leader of the opposition, Ciel Jalloh, and everywhere you can see all around the country, people are protesting, people are getting to get this leader to be elected. We can see that on the ground. And on top of that, Alpha Condé, which has no chance to be elected this time, is doing the strategy of what he's done in the past by playing with the ethnical ground, right? So far, because we have started the campaign for this election, Alpha Condé did make two views, which are very, very bad for the unity of the country. He did say on his first statement that anyone who is voting for any other candidate who is from his ethnical group, which is Mandingo, which is not part of his RPG party, that means he's voting for the Fulani man who is Ciel Jalloh. This statement is very bad. It goes against the unity of the country. And no longer than 3 days ago, he did make another statement that goes against the value and the principle of democracy in Guinea, where he's attacking Sierra Leone, the vice president of Sierra Leone, who is a Fulani man. He's saying that this man is working with Ciel Jalloh, who is also a Fulani man, to bring rebellion in Guinea. So we've seen by the speeches that Alpha Condé is giving to his members that he's hoping to vote for him, all are about ethnical division, all are a bad statement that goes against the unity of the whole country. Though right now, Guinea is.
If you let me, I think you have thrown quite a lot of ammunition towards the current president. So I'm just going to bring in Lancei Kourouma. The allegations here, Lancei, around an illegitimate parliamentary election in the beginning of the year, and also that your leader is divisive and a tribalist. Could you come in on that, and how does that impact the upcoming election?
Sorry, if you don't have argument, don't invent things. That's the rules of life. You know, what he's saying that 2010, we wasn't organizing any elections. We won the elections because by then, I don't want to speak about that because that's 2010. 2015, we read it, we won it. Ciel Jalloh been in UFDG head for many years. They talking about change. Why they're not changing Ciel Jalloh? That's the first question I'm going to ask. The second one is, when we're talking about division, I don't like, I'm a politician who hate to go on ethnical and them stuff. Ciel Jalloh, before a few days ago, when he
but there's an argument that has been leveled against you, and you're the party in leadership. Are you promoting divisions from tribal grounds?
No, really. A few days ago, when Ciel Jalloh arrived in Conakry, we know what Ciel Jalloh said. But we know the problem is in Guinea, these things start, Ciel Jalloh start all these things. Because when you mentioning is my turn, is our turn, what does it mean? Is my turn? Is this tribe turn? Who start that in Guinea? Is a Ciel Jalloh and UFDG. UFDG is a party, you know, they've been on the street all the time. They try to get this country back. You know, they don't want this country to be developed. They try always to invent things, try to, you know, always manifestation. We understand, we lost things, and they should forget that we had Ebola in Guinea. The government was dealing with all of that. Instead of that, instead of helping instead of helping us, they try to make things hard for us. But we come over because the croissant in Guinea is 5-point-something%, which is really good. Guinea is back with international people. We are doing all the.
Can you speak to the legitimacy of the parliamentary elections at the beginning?
Okay, actually, we did the election. They didn't come, but I'm surprised they're now going for the same election in presidential. That's the incoherence of UFDG. I don't want this. I want that. Why people? Why you refuse the assembly election? Then you want to go for presidential? That means you believe on the constitution down here.
Okay. In that case, let's give Abdul Karim the chance to respond to that. Mr. Jalloh, you've just heard what Mr. Kouroma said. You refuse to take part in the parliamentary election, but yet now you are taking part in the presidential election.
That's incoherent.
What has changed?
Okay. The parliamentary and the referendum election was illegal. It wasn't according to the law. Once again, it's not only UFDG which did not take part. All political opposition parties did not take part of that. All big parties did not take part of that. And on top of that, the United Nations did condemn the election. The ECOWAS did condemn the election. The EU did condemn the election. So all of these international organization, and on top of that, the big countries like UK, France, Germany, and the US, they all did condemn the election because that wasn't done in the lawful manner. Alpha Condé did a coup d'etat once again, right? So coming back now to the presidential election in 2020, once again, that election is being organized according to the constitution of 2010. So that's why UFDG is taking part of this election on the 18th of October. I would like to remind here, Alpha Condé was not willing that the opposition parties take part at this election because he has, with all the institutions that are there, he has interfered into all institutions. I mean, the constitutional court, the institution that organizing the election, which is mean the Senate, so, and the administration as well. So he is not accepting like Guinea to have a transparent and a fair game election.
Okay.
But at this time, we opposing him because it's not legal. Yeah.
That's understood there, Mr. Karim. I just want us to move away a little bit now from the constitution, but focusing on the election itself, as you guys are talking about. Lancei, prior to this general election, as Abdul Karim mentioned there, the United Nations, ECOWAS, and also even the EU, and also the French, the former colony, France, did interfere in Guinea to say, look, the Electoral Commission was kind of not up to standard. There were certain people registered who were either dead or minors. What's your response to that?
I will tell Abdul Karim that he's giving a wrong information because we all.
No, this is not information. This is not information from Abdul Karim, but this is information from the international community. As you will know, as we speak, there are currently.
By the way, all this can be found on the record.
There are currently ECOWAS representatives in Guinea.
I'm just going to call you down. Before the election, the legislative one, we saw what happened. The ECOWAS come in Guinea to do this, to check on things. Then there was a 2 million something.
And there were over 2 million voters who were registered, who were either dead or not qualified to vote.
No, but there wasn't proof of that. And at the end of the day, they've been rejected. Then the problem is the body of the thing is 5 million. I don't know what he's talking about. It's 5 million because for ECOWAS to be coming in Guinea to check on that, they removed Then we went with the 5 million. Then I don't know what he's talking about.
So are you admitting then that there was a voter fraud registration? Are you admitting to that?
There wasn't a voter proof administration. The problem is they didn't come to be registered on the biometric thing. It's different from that. They didn't come for the biometric thing, you know, to confirm the biometric registration. He knows about. And the problem is, he mentioned one side of the problem. The American embassy, everyone heard about what he said about this election. He was on the ground supervising. Then I don't know where some country did say what they want to say. But like Guinea is an independent country since the 1960s. We really aware of what we're doing. We're really independent. We organize our election. We don't have to listen to France and then some countries. Some country did give a favor. Some country was against us. That's the international relation thing, but Guinea is independent.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll bring that point to Abdul Karim in a minute. I just wanted you to kind of clarify here again, Mr. Kouroma.
Coming back to the file of the electoral file, right? The international community did come to help Guinea to clean the electoral file, because on this electoral file, Guinea had around 8 million and something, right? 8 million and something in the electoral file, which is not standard, not the normal one, because if you look at all the ECOWAS countries, it goes around maximum 6 million. So only Guinea within 12 million and something as the whole population, we had 8 million in the electoral file. But after they came just to audit, I mean the electoral file, what they found out, 2.5 million were fictive, were inside this file, right? So what did they ask the Guinea government just to try to clean the electoral file, right? So the Guinean government, they did not accept to do that. So because of that, the international community, they did not send no observers to observe the election. So that's why this election was gone without any observer coming from outside, right? So what happened now, because of this 2020 election, and the ECOWAS did again send some other guys to come and help with the electoral file. And they did the same thing, but at this time, they managed to remove the 2 million and something, right?
So now Mr. Karim, do you trust the scrutiny that has been done by ECOWAS and also the current electoral commission that is there? Because from my understanding, the same electoral commission that conducted the representative election, the only person that has changed is the figurehead who passed away a couple of months back, but the rest remains the same. So are you saying now you didn't trust the electoral commission just 4 or 5 months back, but now things have changed, you are kind of sure things will move on the way you want?
Talking about the electoral again, the electoral file, I could say yes, because that was proven. They did remove the 2 million and something from the electoral file. Now Guinea is going to this election with nearly 5 million something to this election in 2018.
Okay,
but you
that's totally understood. So now let's move on to what is happening currently in Guinea. Mr. Lancei, even today as we speak, there was a protest across the country, including in Conakry and other parts of Guinea, organized by the FNDC, le Front National pour la Défense de la Constitution, or the Front National for the Defense of the Constitution. That protest was organized today, and that has been going on for nearly 1 year now. They are against President Condé's decision to stand for a third term. And today there is an allegation as well that Foninke Mange, who is the leader of the FNDC, has been arrested. And he was just released about a week ago. Why are you still arresting opposition figures or people who do not align with your party?
Okay, you know, that's really simple. Guinea, the problem is in Guinea is like a tolerance. People don't forget to say that we're not in the jungle. We have to respect the law, the rules. You cannot say what you want to say because of freedom.
When you say what you want to say, what do you mean?
No,
Organizing
but
a protest?
Even in UK, there is some statement you cannot make. You cannot put people. You know, this country is close to a war.
Okay.
Then
is there any state? Are you saying Fonike Mange or the other opposition figures that have been arrested?
No, I'm talking generally. I'm
asking you specifically about Fonike Mange. He's been arrested today.
Fonike Mange, he's in justice procedure. He didn't even finish that. He should not even allow to do them kind of thing. If he's on them king, that's when he's not respecting justice.
Let me quote you here what the Guinean constitution says. The Guinean constitution says if a citizen wants to organize a protest, you should let the mayor know, but not to consult them, but to let them know, which according to the FNDC, they have already
I'm going to put you down there.
Hold on.
The Guinean constitution say when you protesting, your right should be stopping when other people's rights stop. But you cannot.
But they are protesting. But these are peaceful protesters.
They're not peaceful protesters. We against that because before you protest, you should be allowed to do it. The law says that.
When you say allowed, but according to the constitution, it says you should inform the authority. And, the authority, by law, should allow you to protest.
If the authority don't want to give you for
don't want you for which reason? Give us a reason. Why not?
They're always giving the reason.
And what's today's reason? What was the reason?
The reason is we got pandemic thing, which killed a lot of people on the thing. These people yet
the prime minister is organizing campaigning in Labe.
Yeah, but that's
the pandemic.
That's different. We're trying to make sure everything is all right there. But we don't want
in the campaign, you are getting hundreds of thousands of people.
No. It's not about that. It's not about that. It's about we don't want people to destroy the small thing we got. We struggling. The small thing we got, we don't want people to be destroying that.
Okay, so I'm going to have to come in. I'm going to have to come in there, Baillor. So, Mr. Lancei said the reason, on paper, the reason that has been forwarded is that people are being protected against the COVID-19. So that's why this protest was not was restricted. Now, I just have to come back to the opposition as well and just ask a few questions. We've got this election that's taking place, Mr. Abdul, in October, and it's not that your leader has not been in power before. He was in power before as prime minister. And also earlier on today, you were talking about Alpha Conde and how long he's been on the seat in leadership for. But then I think that would be very similar. What will your leader do differently that he didn't do when he was prime minister years ago?
Oh, yes, thank you for this question, very important question. Actually, as you rightly said, Ciel Jalloh has been ministers with different departments for 10 years, nearly 10 years, during the regime of Lancei Kourouma, who passed away in 2008. So in top of that, Ciel Jalloh was prime minister for nearly 2 years. But just to remind that in Guinea, the regime is more presidential. So the president has got more power than any of the ministers, right? So it's very difficult to compare Ciel Jalloh and Alpha Conde. If we have to compare today, is Alpha Conde and Lancei Kourouma. And if you look at the result of the power of 24 years of Lancei Kourouma, we realize it nowadays is far, far better than what Alpha Conde done within 10 years, even though the number of years is very, very different. There's a big gap. But what can I say is that Ciel Jalloh there is a record of him being ministers during the last 10 years when he was with Lancei Kourouma. The record that he has done, he's far, far the best minister that Guinea never had. Even Lancei, if he's honest enough, he could say that Ciel Jalloh, for instance, he was a minister of the infrastructure and the road. If you look at the region where Alpha Conde come from, where Lancei come from, all the road, all the bridge was built during the time of Lansana Conte, and all was done by Ciel Jalloh, right? Since Alpha Conde is there, for the last 10 years, no more than 15,000 kilometers of road were built. No more than 15,000. Can you imagine? Since for the last 10 years. And there are so many money that have been put into this department to try to build the road in Guinea. Guinea, right now, we have no road, we have no power, no electricity, no water. You can see that from the record. It's not from what I'm saying, but again, Ciel today is the leader that we believe that can continue the job he started doing long time ago, because there are so many projects he started at this time still stand by. Those projects can be continued and done by Ciel Jalloh, who is trusted by the Guinean population, by the international community. So right now he's the right leader to do the job.
Okay, thank you. Lancei, in your opinion, you being in the party in leadership, obviously this is somebody who is trying to topple your leader. What do you think of Cielu's record? What would you say? Would you trust him to be the next? Why wouldn't you trust him to be the next?
Oh, that's simple. Ciel been removed as Premier Minister because of fraud, because he fraud the former president's signature. For someone who, rolling for power, that's like a big mistake. Like in French, they call that lourd faute. Ciel, when he was minister, he's telling me the region I came from, Ciel built many bridge. Tell him to cite me the name of the bridge, Ciel bridge. If he doesn't know, I'm gonna go. My dad used to work on the same time with Ciel didn't reach any bridge down there. The problem is the development was Dr. Bana Sidibe. If he doesn't know, I'm gonna tell him. The problem is he's telling me Ciel build a bridge, this, that, and we're not seeing that now. What happened? Or them bridge disappeared by magic thing. They have to stop inviting. Ciel support in 2001 the change of constitution, and he was telling that the reason was President Conte was a good president. Why you not accepting thing you refuse on the past because he was on power? You don't want to do that on the same thing. What's the incoherence? Ciel is actually, he's not a good leader. We can see how he managing UFDG, and he's been in so many strategical departments which he didn't do. He did bad things, no reason, because Guinea by magic didn't develop. He's telling that when he is comparing 24 years of Conte compared to Alpha Conde, like Conte was better. But I'm gonna tell Abdul Karim to go back to Guinea to check on things, or to go back on archive to see how Guinea been developed, because he can go on the thing on economic side of Guinea, and the way Guinea was not in the international program and powerful. Alpha Conde was the president of African Union. Never in Conte time has been. We now people trust us, country trust us. The FMI trust us. Bretton Woods Constitution trust Guinea. I don't know what Abdul Karim is referring to say them thing. If even you don't like someone, but try to say real thing about the person.
Okay.
Never Guinea changed, the airport changed.
So you
we
are
got
saying,
hospital.
So you are saying we should deal with facts. Okay, that's totally understood there, and hopefully the voters will be understanding what you guys are trying to say here. We've got less than 5 minutes to go. I just wanted to throw in one more question to both of you, especially to you, Lancei, again, because you are currently the ruling party, What will you say to the accusation or to the allegation of President Alpha Conde being biased to the Fulani ethnic group, or ruling the country in a very decisive manner, being if a protest is happening in the Kominde Ratoma area in Conakry, people get arrested, more than 150 people have been killed. I will say most of them, or 99% according to allegations, are of the ethnic Fulani. But yet, if a protest, as you said earlier, if the government doesn't approve it, you shouldn't go out. But if a protest happens in Kankan and other places in the northern region, people don't get arrested and people don't get killed, but yet in Conakry or in the Fulani region, people get killed.
Okay. Actually, you see, that's the problem in Guinea. Every time there is a victimization, and that's not even the point. You know, when you're telling me Bambeto, Kosa, and them area, which part of Conakry are doing the manifestation if it's not Bambeto, Kosa? That's the question.
But that area is not protesting because they support Selu. That area has been protesting since the time of Lancei Kourouma.
I didn't finish. Let me go far away. Let me give you my idea. You ask me a question. Can I go for it?
I'm listening to you. Go on.
When you're telling me that in Lancei Kourouma time in 90s there was protestation in Bambeto, yes or no? And the thing, I'm against the killing. I'm not accepting that because politics, country should not be about. Because people who are dying are Guinean. We brothers. You know, I'm not accepting them kind of thing. I'm praying my country. My wish is there is no more killing anywhere in this land, Guinea land. But the problem is some people have to stop putting that. If you are UFDG, FNDC, you could go to the manifestation. We're not gonna take, no, you are Fulani, you are Mandingo, you are that, you that. There is a lot of killing. In some countries, Zerekore have been part of it. You didn't mention that.
Well, that is part of the southern region because just a few days ago, over 100 people were released in Kankang, in this prison, in the Saronkoni prison, which were arrested in Zerekore. And the president or the government has been holding them all while their parents or family members have been calling for their release, but they didn't release them until yesterday, just 2 weeks prior to the election. And now the government is saying they have released them because they didn't find any evidence to charge them. Why now?
You know, the problem is, that's what I'm telling you. I was responding to your first question. You telling me that how come is only in Bambeto or Fouta Djallon there is a killing?
No, I didn't mention Fouta Djallon. I didn't mention Fouta Djallon.
Okay. Oh, no, Fouta Djallon, then Bambeto. That's why I refer you to Zerekore. There was problem in Zerekore. There was problem in so many areas in the country. You know, the problem is we have to stop victimizing ourselves. We have to stand for the same thing. You know, Selu Daleng been brainwashing people to be against. Some people they're saying, telling me that, oh, if I die for UFDG, I'm gonna go to paradise. That's not really nice. That's not really good. Government can kill. I'm not denying that at all.
Right.
But Selu Daleng UFDG got a big part of these innocent people being killed.
Let's give Mr. Diallo a chance to respond to that. Mr. Diallo, what can you say to Lancei's allegation that most of these problems that are happening in Guinea, which the government as well has accused the opposition of, most of the protests is instigated, or most of the killings are kind of done by thugs, but then the opposition will accuse the government. What can you respond to that?
Thank you, Mr. Baillor. I would like to remind that since Alpha Condé came to power 2010 till now 2020, more than 500 citizens were killed. So you rightly mentioned whenever there is a protest which is allowed in the constitution of Guinea, people have to express their voices, people can manifest because that's according to the constitution. There is always someone that get killed, you know. So it's happened that every time that the armed forces kill the citizen, it's happened in the area where the opposition leader Ciel Jalloh has got more vote, and this happened to have a lot of Fulani living there. And one other thing, Alpha Condé never accepted to implement the High Court of Justice, which we call in French la Haute Cour de Justice. This one is the one to fight impunity. This is the one to fight against corruption whenever any leader or any minister or any governor in Guinea are against the law.
Yeah, Abdul Karim, sorry to interrupt you. Can you just respond to the question that most of the problems in Guinea or in Conakry are instigated by the opposition, that you are going out to protest when you are not allowed to protest? Have you had me? Are you there?
Me or Abdul Karim?
No, Mr. Karim. Mr. Karim, I want him to respond to your
That's
allegation.
totally a lie. That's totally a lie. Yeah, you read in the Constitution, whenever there is a protest, all what the opposition has to do is to inform the authorities. It's not even demanding their authorization. It's just to inform them and then to give them the itinerary, the road where they can go and protest, right? But again, always the government, the armed forces are targeting the Fulani people, and this been in the record by Human Rights Watch, by Amnesty International, by most of the human rights organizations worldwide, right? You can check it in the record. It's not just me saying this, right? So again, the problem with the regime of Alpha Conde is because there is no the application of the law. Whenever someone is killing, never investigation has been done. No one was arrested for killing someone, and every time that someone got killed, they've been killed by the armed, they've been killed by the army. So this is known in Guinea. So never ever the government did accept to do investigation about it. And the whole international community is condemning the killing of innocent citizen in Guinea, right? So the record shows it. And again, I will emphasize on that. Alpha Conde never accepted to have an institution of the High Court of Justice. Guinea don't have that. So we're still in a transition, we're still in crisis because all the institutions are not complete.
That's totally understood there. We've got less than 2 minutes to go. Lancei, just a quick one. I just wanted to highlight one thing that was brought forward by the United Nations, the EU, and France, that the 2009 massacre that happened at the National Stadium in Conakry, that the government of Guinea should urgently investigate it properly. This has gone, the investigation has been going on since 2009, and up to today, nobody has been kind of held accountable for it. What can you say to that? What can you, why is your government or why is your party still not held anyone accountable to the massacre that happened in 2009?
Okay, actually, if you following or watching the news of Guinea, we even start looking, because now we're looking to put the the judgment in place. People have been condemned, arrested, or accused by even Dadis Camara, that is approved, Tumba is approved, Chiogoro and stuff. But we was looking to do the judgment. We was looking for the funding, because that's like a bigger, like judgment. We are on it. It was meant to be.
It's been going on.
Can I just check that the reason it hasn't happened is because you're looking for funding for the last 10 years? It hasn't been budgeted for.
No, it's not about only because there was investigation. Before them kind of process or like court thing, there is a lot of investigation before you accuse people, and that's been done. People been accused. You cannot accuse someone then like without the proof. We saw the procureur of this lady coming in Guinea. There is a lot of people. We're gonna organize the thing when we pass on this step, because the thing is implement. The minister who stepped down was on it. We're gonna do it definitely. We don't have nothing to cover. We wasn't in power when that.
I mean, obviously, these are your people, so it wouldn't really be an expectation that you should actually be having something to cover. You should be concerned.
They're not all
you
people.
should be concerned.
No,
these are Guineans. I mean, in that sense, they are party in leadership, so these are your people. Anyone in your country, regardless of what tribe they come from, what political party they're affiliated to, these are your people, your citizens, under the care of the leadership, and you should be more concerned, shouldn't you?
Yeah, but sorry, but interrupting you. But to do a good quality of a tribunal thing, is take time. That's why we was talking about funding. We don't want to do something like not normal, because we want international people to be looking at it. We are on it. If I agree with you. It didn't happen now, but it might happen this coming year. Don't forget that we had a lot of problems. COVID, we had Ebola, we got this
unfortunately, thank you very much.
All the time manifesting,
You know, that's the thing.
Thank you very much, Lancei. Unfortunately, time is against us. But gentlemen, it's been a pleasure having both of you. You guys have really kind of enlightened us with what you had to say. And hopefully we'll leave it for the Guineans to decide on the 18th of January, on the 18th of October, pardon me, which is about in 2-3 weeks' time, Guinea's presidential election. May the best person win. May the person who will benefit Guinea and for all Guineans win. And I thank you very much. Until next week, that was African Voices, and thank you for joining us.